Yo, what's good, boys? We are back. Quick picks, quick predictions. UFC Vegas 106, Burns versus Morales. We are back in the Apex. Not the best card, but it is what it is, man. I think they should have kept Burns Morales on UFC 315, but it is what it is. Let's get it straight on into it. Before we go ahead and get into it, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Let's start it off with the early prelim opener of Tisha Pennington versus Luana Pinheiro. An absolute banger, right? An absolute freaking banger, boys. I'm not even going to waste any time on this one. I'm going to go with Luana Pinheiro. I don't care about Tisha Pennington's, grappling, her striking. I don't care. I hate Tisha Pennington. Her last fight, low-key robbery. Very, very close fight. She did not win a unanimous. That should have been a split. Her last few fights have been split. She's been losing. And so has Luana Pinheiro. Don't get me wrong. Luana's on a 3-fight loss streak, but they're all quality losses. She lost to Jillian Robertson, she lost to Amanda Ribas, and she lost to Angela Hill. Those are quality losses. Those are top women, and they're quality losses. And I think Luana Pinheiro is the better, more well-rounded fighter. I think if it gets to the ground, I think she'll have the higher potential of wrapping up a choke, and I think she's got more power than Tisha Pennington. I just want to see Luana Pinheiro have some more output, some more volume, but I don't rate Tisha Pennington whatsoever. I don't know how she is a 4-1 favorite in this fight. Absolutely mind-boggling. Absolutely mind-boggling, man. If I'm a better, which from time to time I am, I'd be smashing money on that money line of Luana Pinheiro. I did not mean to say it like that, but I'd be hammering that money line of Luana Pinheiro because this is ridiculous odds, man. You can't trust a 14-7 Tisha Pennington to get a dominant win here. I don't see it happening. I'm going Luana Pinheiro as my quick pick. We move on to the next fight, Hyung Sung Park versus Carlos Hernandez. I think Hyung Sung Park is good, but I think he's a bit overrated. I think his competition that he's fought has been overrated. Not necessarily competition has been overrated, but the competition has been a bit easy. It's been a bit easy, and sure, he's finding finishes here and there. Every single fight in the UFC so far, he's had finishes, but this isn't road to UFC and then leading into some easy UFC matchups to get him on the roll, and he is an undefeated prospect. We know how it's been going with the undefeated prospects. I think Carlos Hernandez is scrappy. I think he's getting better as time goes on. I think he's learning from his losses, and we have yet to see Hyung Sung Park in a tricky, difficult fight with somebody who's really tough, really durable, who's going to be coming at you the whole 15 minutes. That's exactly who Carlos Hernandez is. I think Hyung Sung Park has good finishing capabilities, but we haven't seen him get really pressured, get put on the back foot, get, pressured for 15 minutes straight. That's really what this comes down to. I'm going Carlos Hernandez as my early pick. I think he's a dog. I think he's a bit of a dog in this fight. I think he's going to push the pace. I think he's going to make it dirty, and I think he's going to make Hyung Sung Park uncomfortable. I'm going Carlos Hernandez. I'm going to say by decision, man. Also, I'm going to pick Luana Pinheiro by decision, but I'm going Carlos Hernandez by decision. Close decision, but I think he's going to push the pace a bit more. We move on. Next fight, Elise Reed versus Denise Gomez. I got nothing to say. Denise Gomez looks like a boy. I'm going Denise Gomez. Nothing else to say in this one. Elise Reed is not horrible, but I think Denise Gomez is just going to walk her down, throw her big overhand rights. If it does go to the ground, I think she'll get top position, lay on top of her. I think this will be kind of boring. I'm going to go Denise Gomez to just plot armor her way through Elise Reed and get herself a decision. I'm going to go Denise Gomez, unanimous decision. We move on. Luana Santos, Tainara Lisboa. I've never, ever seen Tainara Lisboa in my entire life. Don't know who she is. Never seen her. Didn't even know she was in the UFC or on the UFC roster. I'm going Luana Santos as my early pick, man. I don't know anything about Tainara, honestly. And I know Luana Santos, she can be tricky on the ground. She can mix it up. And as long as she trusts her capabilities of coming forward and throwing shots down the pipe, I think she can win this fight. I think this is going to be a close fight. I don't know much about Tainara, but I think this will be a close fight. I'm going to go Luana Santos by split decision. We move on. Jared Gordon versus Thiago Moises. Okay, here we go. Now we got a fight where I can talk about it just a little bit. Jared Gordon, been robbed in a lot of his fights. Obviously fought Paddy Pimblett. That was one of the biggest robberies that we've seen in a long time. Should not have been a unanimous decision. Should not have even been a win for Paddy Pimblett. Was very, very close. Jared Gordon's had some other close fights. Just fought Nasrat Hakparas. Split decision, very close as well. Like, Jared Gordon always has really close fights. But I don't think this fight's going to be so close. I genuinely do believe that Thiago Moises is the more well-rounded fighter. He's the younger fighter by a lot. Jared Gordon's getting up there. I think he's 36 now. Thiago Moises, he beats these guys. He does. He just does. He beats these guys. He loses to high competition. He lost to Benoit Saint-Denis. He lost to Joel Alvarez. He lost to Islam Makhachev. He loses to higher competition, really tough dudes, but he beats guys like this all day. He beats Jared Gordon's all day, okay? Thiago Moises, great BJJ, good forward pressure. His last fight, it was close against, what was his name? Oh man, I don't remember that dude's name. He's a mid-level fighter, but Thiago Moises beat him with relative ease. I knew he was going to get that one done. He beats guys like this. I don't know how else to explain it. He just beats the mid-level guys. He just doesn't break into the top 15. Doesn't, he's not dominant enough to crack the top 15, but he is dangerous enough to beat these guys like Jared Gordon. And I think Jared Gordon has weakness on the ground. His chin is not the best. He's gone to a lot of decisions. The finishing potential is completely on the side of Thiago Moises. I'm going to go Moises by submission in round 2. Honestly, I feel like he's going to get it to the ground, wrap up a choke, and finish this one in relative ease, man. We move on, though. Gabe Green versus Matheus Cameo. Of course, the UFC sucks. They don't have a picture here, but Cameo is... Oh, and they don't have any of his stats. Camilo, is it Camilo or... I'm going to just say Camilo. He's 9-2, pretty good. His only 2 losses are by submission. Gabe Green, we haven't seen him in a minute. Somehow he's making lightweight. Look at this dude. He's massive. I don't know how he's making lightweight. If you guys do remember, Gabe Green's last fight was when he walked into Brian Battle's, just ran up to Brian Battle and got KO'd. That shit was so funny. Ran right up to Brian Battle and just got countered just brutally and got slept really badly. And if you don't know, a little bit of backstory, Matheus Camilo, he trains with Brian Battle. He also trains with a guy up on the card, Myron Santos. They all train together. And so I have a feeling that Camilo is going to have a decent game plan here. I think he's the more fresh fighter. Gabe Green hasn't fought in a minute, and he's also cutting a lot of weight to make lightweight. So I think Matheus Camilo is going to get this one done. I don't see him finding a finish. I think he's going to just outpoint Gabe Green throughout this fight, get himself a decision, first win in the UFC. I think he'll get it done, man. Matheus Camilo by decision. I don't know if I'm butchering his name or not, but we move on to the main card. Here's a fight I care about. Julian Erosa, Melquizael Costa. Doesn't really matter with the rankings. Actually, it does matter with the rankings if Melky wins this fight, man. Super active. Costa's super active. I love to see it. He's becoming one of my more favorite, mid-level fighters right now. He's getting some good wins. He's on, I believe, a 3 or 4 fight win streak now. He's been super active. He's fought 3. This is going to be his 3rd time in 2025 fighting, man. He's had some really good wins. Submission over Andre Fili. Just had a decision over tough guy in, what's his name, man? The undefeated prospect killer. The prospect killer. You guys know who I'm talking about. But Melky, good win streak right now. Good little win streak. And both Erosa and Melky were fighting around the same time. Perfect matchup to make. Erosa's coming off that KO over, what's his name, Darren Elkins. Elkins just looked like an old man in there. He just looked like an old man. So fair enough to Julian Erosa. He got it done the way he should have gotten it done. But Erosa, Melky is a very close fight. I think it is a close fight because Erosa's scrappy. He's always going to find finishes. He's always going to be tricky. But I think he loses to Costa. I do believe he loses to Costa. Costa's really well-rounded. Nice kicks. His striking's improving a lot. His ground game is dangerous. His BJJ is really, really good. I think Julian Erosa won't be able to find a sub on Costa. And I think Costa will have the better chance at finishing Erosa throughout this fight. And I think Costa will find a finish on Julian Erosa. I don't know if it'll be by sub or KO. I think he could find a KO over Julian Erosa, maybe some ground and pound. I think they'll get wrapped up on the ground at some point, and Costa will get it done. So I'm going to go Melquizael Costa by KO or submission, man. I trust him. He's younger. He's fresher. He's on a good win streak right now. He's very active. I like it. I like the activity. We move on, though. Dustin Stoltzfus, Nursultan Ruziboyev. This is a fun fight, honestly. Stoltzfus has been in some just throw down hands, just some slugfest, some bar fights, and you love to see it. Stoltzfus, not amazing technique. He's coming off that knockout win over Marc-Andre Barrio. Nice knockout win, honestly. I think it was like a spinning elbow or something. It was something up against the fence. And Nursultan Ruziboyev coming off that KO over, I don't even know the dude's name. Some guy they called up to the UFC, smoked him. But this is a good fight, and it's an interesting fight because I want to pick Nursultan Ruziboyev, but something deep down in me, something in my heart right now, man, is telling me Dustin Stoltzfus is going to pull this off by KO. I don't know how. I don't know how, and I don't know what round, don't know what minute, don't know what second, but I think Stoltzfus could maybe pull this off. Nursultan Ruziboyev is a tall, lengthy guy, man. He's really, really dangerous, but if he gets pushed up against the fence, if he gets taken down like he did against Buckley, he's not... You can tell that he's just not very useful, off of his back and when he's put on the ground. I think Stoltzfus might be able to do that. Honestly, I think he might get a decision. I'm going Dustin Stoltzfus by decision. Early pick. Guys, these are early picks, by the way. I haven't dug in. I haven't watched any tape. This is just my face value, what I've seen from these fighters. I'm going Dustin Stoltzfus by decision. Yeah, I think he could pull off the upset, honestly. We move on, though. Sadiq Youssef versus Myron Santos. Sadiq Youssef at one point, man, he had a good kind of little run. He had a good little run, ran into Diego Lopez, has been a little bit inactive, got KO'd. I think he got KO'd back to back. I don't remember. Actually, I think he lost a decision and then got KO'd by Lopez, but he's been a bit inactive. At one point, had some hype behind him, and now Myron Santos is the next guy with some hype, man. So they're feeding Youssef to a guy that's hyped up. Let's be completely honest. Santos he absolutely robbed Francis Marshall at UFC 313. I'm going to be completely honest. Myron Santos was part of one of my parlays, and I thought I was cooked. I mean, Myron Santos did not win that fight. Francis Marshall was pushing forward. He's holding them up against the fence. Like, he was definitely winning the minutes, right? And the damage as well, I think. So it was a really close fight, tricky one. But honestly, I think Myron Santos has an easier test in front of him with Sadiq Youssef, who's not going to push him up against the fence, who's not going to shoot takedowns, really. We see Sadiq Youssef mostly strike, right? Like, if he needs to, he'll mix it up, but I don't see him mixing it up against Myron Santos, excuse me. And like I said before, Santos is training with Camilo down on the card and Brian Battle. I think he's got a good team around him. I think he gets this one done, man. I don't know if he finds a finish over Youssef, but he's been inactive. He's been, slowing down a little bit, and he's getting a bit older. He's becoming one of those guys that they're feeding the prospects now. So I think Myron Santos could get this one done. I'm going to go Myron Santos by KO or by decision. I'm not too sure how he'll end this fight, but I'm gonna go Myron Santos as the early pick. We move on though to the co-main event: Rodolfo Bellato, Paul Craig. Man, not much to say about this. Paul Craig should not be moving up to light heavyweight. I mean, he just shouldn't. He should not, man. I mean, hopefully his chin gets better with moving up, but I don't see that being the case. I think Rodolfo Bellato is just too physically imposing in there. He's too big, too powerful. I think he's going to knock Paul Craig out in round one. If he does come forward, he's not scared, from his last fight. He had the fight with Jimmy Crute, really close fight. I think Jimmy Crute edged that one out, but it was a draw. And Paul Craig in his last one lost to Bo Nickel by just getting overhand right. And we just saw Bo Nickel get fraud checks. So, it's not the best look. Paul Craig's been slowing down and moving up to light heavyweight. I just think his chin, I don't know if his chin's going to be even better or if he's just going to get chinned even worse. I think Rodolfo Bellato finds a KO here early. I'm going to go Rodolfo Bellato round one TKO, man. I like Paul Craig, but if he doesn't get it to the ground, he's pretty cooked. We move on to the main event. Oh, damn, that was quick. Gilbert Burns versus Michael Morales. Of course, it's meant to be quick, but damn. Gilbert Burns, Michael Morales. Damn it, man. I mean, I want Gilbert Burns to win so bad. If you guys know, I love Gilbert Burns. I've been loving Gilbert Burns. He's one of those guys who, when you tell your friends, oh, this fight, you need to watch this fight. If you're getting into the UFC or if you don't know what the UFC is, the fight I often show people is Gilbert Burns versus Khamzat Chimaev. That's one of my favorite fights of all time. I love that fight. Gilbert Burns was such a dog, just such a dog, only due to knock down Khamzat Chimaev and really give him a run for his money, man. That was a great fight, and we're out of that phase of Gilbert Burns. It's sad. It's really sad. He's on a 3-fight loss streak. He's been getting fed to dogs. He fought Jack Della Maddalena, got KO'd. No, he fought Bilal, lost by decision. Fought JDM, got KO'd. Just fought Sean Brady, got beat down for 5 rounds in the Apex, and I think he's going to get beat down by Michael Morales for 5 rounds as well. I'm going to go Michael Morales. I think he's going to find a TKO over Gilbert Burns, unfortunately. I really want Gilbert to win, but he is 39 years old, not getting any younger. He's a bit undersized for the division. He's definitely slowing down. We saw that his volume was not there against Sean Brady. Just a bit too scared to throw shots, and I think that's going to be the same thing here where he's got some power getting thrown back at him by Michael Morales. I think Michael Morales will get it done in round 2 or round 3 by TKO. Yeah, man, it sucks, but I think Gilbert will probably retire after this fight. Maybe he'll have one more. Maybe he can fight an older guy, like maybe a Colby or a Thompson again. I don't know, man. It sucks. It sucks to see Gilbert Burns go out like this. I would have rather he lose to Michael Morales on 315 and then retire there. That would have been sick, but it is what it is. He's fighting Apex. This might be his last fight. You never know, but I'm going to go Michael Morales by TKO. That is the entire card, my quick picks, my quick prediction, boys. If you guys did enjoy the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button as always, and I will catch you boys in the next one. See you.